Man, I'm on the chase now, leave me on my own. I got a chance to break now.
Welcome back to Grnd. I'm your host, Mike. Today's guest is a welder and machine operator. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What up? My name is DJ, right here in Long Beach. Like I said, I'm a machine operator and a welder, and happy to be doing it, doing this with you, you know what I'm saying? So
Appreciate having you on.
hell yeah.
So, welder and machine operator, was that something that you started in high school?
Not at all, man. Girls and partying, that thing. That kind of shit goes.
I feel you. I definitely been in that situation. So it started after high school. So how old were you, when you started in that?
Like 22.
Okay, so it was
yeah.
quite a while. So that wasn't offered in high school at all? Like that's that sort of.
It was offered in high school, but I didn't take that route,
So how did you get to that?
I was blessed, man. I was blessed to get into this little program, and I got into an agency, and they actually put me into that company where I'm working now in 2005. And I went in there to sweep the floors, and gradually I just I seen there was a different department, so I seen the welding shop. There was a wood shop as well, so I started in the wood shop, and then I started jumping in the scrap metal dumpsters and learning to weld myself, and higher management seen that, so they're like, "You want to learn?" I was like, "Hell yeah!"
So basically, you just got it was like a job placement program.
Yeah.
You just happened to end up there.
Yeah.
And then so you just started sweeping the floors.
Started sweeping floors.
And started doing that on your own time. Or you started trying to learn how to weld on your own time.
Well, not sweeping floors in a sense, but just organizing.
Yeah.
And like I said, higher management seen that, so they gave me a shot. Lucky for them. And I always felt really confident in what I was doing, so once they gave me that shot, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna take it. So
when you first seen like the welding, was that something you were just like, I want to do that?
Oh yeah.
It sparked that.
Yeah. I always worked with wood. I made speaker boxes when I was younger, and custom like trunks and all that, but when I seen that spark, like the sparks and all that, it's like, shit, that's real man work right there.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. So they seen you, obviously, trying to learn how to weld, and they gave you the opportunity. So once they gave the opportunity, how did that go?
Really, really well, actually. I was over there sneaking into the department, and so now when I was allowed full like access, and there was just sky was the limit, it was a wrap.
Did they have someone there that was kind of like training you as you were doing it, or they just kind of let you?
Not someone necessarily that was training me, but I have a lot of people at where I work that have so much love for me. So people that have been skilled in doing this shit for like 30 plus years,
Yeah.
So and then me getting that knowledge so quick, it was like it was pretty easy.
So you had the benefit of having obviously a lot of coworkers that had the knowledge, and then you picked it up quickly because you had the passion for it once you seen it.
Yep.
That's
exactly.
Cool. So not to rewind here, but the gap between high school and getting there. What was there any other types of jobs that you held between then and now? I know you mentioned you're making the speaker boxes and doing that kind of thing.
That was just like a side thing, but it was just bad, like I had my mom and dad did the best for us, but I didn't go that the route that a lot of other people go on, so yeah, like I was on the street just doing what I do, and I knew it wasn't the best option, but at the time it was working, you know, for me. So
yeah, so you were making money, but it wasn't necessarily the best way of making the money you should have been making.
Yeah.
And then you got, obviously, so then now we're basically in the points where you got that opportunity to get into that. So when you were working there, how long did it take higher management to give you that opportunity?
It was pretty quick. I think they just seen, because I was already ready to get off like the street, like not do that shit, you know, no more, you know. And I was obviously making less money working, but that's just the loss I had to take to start my positive life, you know, like, because I seen it was a time for a change, you know. Everyone's gonna see that, so
yeah, you saw the dark ends, and
yeah,
you know, you needed to come to the other side and
exactly
and figure it out.
So it was pretty quick because I was really like motivated. I wanted to prove myself, and so I think within 3 months or 2 months, actually the company I worked for had to buy me off the agency because they wanted me to stay on the agency because the agency is getting paid for me working there. So the agency had a 6-month contract with them, and they had to buy me out because they wanted me in 3 months. On my
to
third
take
month.
You full time.
Yeah. So I got into carpentry. Man, that carpentry was so fun, you know. Like, I learned so much more things, like using routers, making jigs, making shipping crates that like go to like Brazil, like, you know, like our product that has to get there like safely and all that. So,
yeah.
And then once I did that, like I said, I was jumping in the dumpsters and the scrap bins, you know, the scrap metal dumpster. Taught myself to weld, also with other people helping me too. So, it was quick, real quick.
So obviously everyone saw that you were eager to do more, not just, you know, I mean, obviously the carpentry helped, all that stuff helped learn from, you know, what the company was doing and all of that, but definitely they saw that you were eager to do more than what you were doing.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I just, from the beginning, I seen all that metal just being cut, and I was like, I knew that's where I need to be, you know.
And you're still with that same company now, correct?
Yeah, it's been since 2005, like 15 years, 16 years, something like that.
Yeah, so that's a pretty long time. You're coming up on 20 years. That's crazy. I didn't realize you.
But now I run like there is the carpenter there, but like he always takes vacation, you know. So I'm always like running that department when he's gone, and like I have a higher manager or higher like my supervisor in my shop, but it's like I'm the one running this shit, you know, like.
He knows you can do it, and he kind of just lets you do your thing, and you take care of basically everything.
Exactly. He has so much trust in me, and so he's like just can hand me like the packet of drawings, and I just get it done.
Yeah.
I tell people what to do, and you know.
So how many welders do you guys have there?
3.
So you and 3 others?
Yeah.
Or just 3 and including you?
3 and then me.
Okay, so
4.
4.
Yeah.
And then, so you're doing that, and then how many machine operators are there?
3 as well.
3 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're kind of doing everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jack of all trades at that?
Like in the, sometimes like when the welding is kind of slow, then I'll just jump on the mill, end mills, or on the machine, you know, so
I guess like
CNC.
I know where you work, and I know the kind of things that you make, but like that to me it's super cool. So do you want to give like a brief like a rundown on some of the things that you've made, or just, you know, let everybody know like what that the company does?
Basically the company I'm working for, it's a very high level, and as you all know, when you weld steel, it deforms and all that, so we gotta know how much to weld, how the heat and all that, you know, so
like shrinkage or expansion and all that stuff, right?
And our tolerance is a 32nd of an inch.
That's pretty tight tolerance.
Yeah, because if you're going 300 feet in across, you know, if you're off by a 1/16 of an inch over here, when you get 300 feet, it's gonna be like half an inch.
Yeah, it's gonna be way far off.
So it's really precise, and you just gotta learn that, you know.
I know you've had some pretty notable like projects.
Oh yeah.
So what you wanna talk about some of those?
Well, right now we have the world's largest indoor visual display system in Las Vegas that we made. So
that's at the
Westgate Hotel.
The Westgate Hotel.
The sports book.
Okay, how big is that?
I think it's about 31 square feet or 31,000 square feet of image. And
that's
it's
crazy.
And it's
curves, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you guys, like, what you're doing is putting all the structure together for that display,
for the displays,
right?
Yeah.
So you have to do. I mean, that's.
But the displays have to be like
perfect.
You know?
Yeah, as I was saying. Like,
so if my frame is messed up, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah, so that's why you have that 32nd of an inch.
That's
tolerance.
Our tolerance.
You can't. You know, much more than that, the image is gonna look tweaked or or warped or
you'll
something.
You'll see like a black, because we do LED. We're starting to do a lot of LEDs, so you'll see that black line.
Okay.
If they're not, right now we're at 500 thousandths of a square of 500 thousandths of an inch, in between two pixels.
Okay.
For when they come together between the pixels, so they got to be on point, or we're not getting paid.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, I mean, you guys have customers all over the world, right? You said Brazil.
We do Google. We do all government shit or government things.
But we had
a lot of government projects. And
yeah, it's kind of an interesting.
I don't know if I can say the companies. But.
No, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's just interesting because we had Andrew on, which he's a welder fabricator, but his style of welding, I don't think is where the tolerances are as crazy as yours. Where I mean, obviously his are like structural, and they make sure everything has to be good, like everything has to be what they need to be. But I didn't realize that was the tolerances for the things
tight.
that you were making.
Yeah, it's tight.
And I mean, even just on a machine, as a machine operator, like I know that's a very, very small tolerance to be able to comply with.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of companies that are in aerospace that don't have a tolerance that tight for things.
Well, that's why we got the end mill, the mill. So cause our things are so precise that we have to get them perfect. You know, like the where, you know, so
everything has to be solid. Everything has to be sound. They're like you said, your company's not getting paid because the actual visual scene is going to be not what it is supposed to be.
And we're still getting paid.
And I was actually kind of surprised at those tolerances too, because they do sound pretty close to aerospace tolerances for like planes and stuff. I'm not too sure about like for maybe space stuff, just because like there's no repairing it once it's up there.
Yeah.
But those are like really tight tolerances, especially over long distances. It does add up, like you're saying.
Plus or negative 32nd of an inch.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize it was that
0.0325.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that intense.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I guess I never thought about it.
Yeah. We're actually today. I just got done finishing a job, and it's so nice, man. It's like it's curved and it like comes out the wall with the actuator, you know. So
you guys, so something like that, you guys would build a whole frame with the actuator, like how
we just get raw steel,
and then you guys
we build everything.
And then are you guys putting in the LEDs as well?
Yeah, we do tests.
So they do everything.
Yeah, they'll send us like maybe like 6 LEDs, so we can test like up and down, side to side, and all that. And the actuators as well too. So yeah, we're making metal parts that move, you know.
Yeah, but the finished, like the actual LEDs that go in the whole display, is that done with another company, or does your company do that?
No, we contract a company to install.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Before when I started, I was doing a lot of installations.
Okay.
But then as time went by, like they needed me in the shop more, so they had to get they made another company so they can install our stuff.
Gotcha. So are they owned by the same company, or is it just a?
It's like a sister company, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they like a partner company. They
Yeah.
do all the install, and then you guys do all the rough.
Yeah.
The rough stuff. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize.
We have like 6 designers that are designing, so they're in their office. They're in the design office. So any problems I got, I go there, and then they show me everything. Like so.
Right on. So it's pretty. It seems like you guys. How big is the company? I guess how many employees
small,
you guys have?
It's small. I think there's 10 people in the shop, and 6 designers, and there's obviously the purchasers and the managers. That's it.
So it's a pretty small outfit to run and getting jobs for Google, and so obviously you guys are good at what you do.
Our work is like world renowned kind of stuff, So we've sent everywhere in the world, Edison, everywhere.
That's crazy. Is there any notable projects that you worked on in your head that you obviously you have a hand on everything, but is there anything in your head that you're like, you see on TV or you see something or you're like, yeah, I had something to do with that?
T-Mobile, they brought in a big truck, like a bobtail truck.
Mm-hmm.
We cut the side out, and then we put a whole backdrop of a seamless image inside of there, and then now it's like a stage where now they go do like shows, and they can have a DJ or like a band.
Okay, so does the side of the truck come down?
Yeah.
So it drops and they have like a stage and they have
it's a whole image on the back. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I think that's where they take that too when because they have a big ass drone that gives like they put it in the sky like in emergencies, and then that's a cellular network, whatever it's called.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they have a drone that's basically like a tower.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So like in case of like a emergency where there's no.
Oh yeah, so like I know where like if there's an earthquake, when things happen like that, like you don't have like cell service just completely goes.
Yeah, so that's like where there's an emergency, like or the emergency people can come and they can still have contact with each other.
And they still be able to have. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that they did that. I had no idea that was even a thing.
Other than that, I think we've done about. I can say like about 90% of Vegas, like all their images, the Caesar's Palace. When you go like to the mall, like Pac Sun, you see all the TVs on the poles and all that. Like
that's all your guys' stuff.
Yeah. We do like, crazy. Man, it is crazy. I work every day. I've been working for 15 years. Like
yeah,
I'm doing.
How it like. I know, like I was in the tile industry for a little while, and I remember getting projects that were like I helped the sales reps for the commercial projects, and I was basically I had to make sure all the tile got to the job site and everything on time, and I remember like for me, the new hotel the new building I guess that's in LA, the tallest building now, like I had a lot to do with that. Like I put a lot of that material on job site.
Nice.
So every time I see that, it's like it's almost prideful for me.
Yeah,
it's like I had something to do with that. Is that obviously it's probably the same thing with you when you see.
Yeah. My mom, like when my mom goes to Vegas, she'll always send me something like, "Look at me, home. This is what you made." Like,
super proud of it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's cool. I can't complain, man. Can't complain.
No, that's awesome. That's. I mean, considering, where the other option was, where you started, to then come to that. That's like a total change.
Yeah, so I took a loss. Now I'm making way more money than.
And and I guess less risk, right?
Yeah, it's a risk, man.
So now you have less risk. You're making a steady income instead of.
I can do my taxes.
You're legit now. That's funny.
Yeah, but it's crazy though, because with such impressive like tolerances and actual like really crazy machining and welding and all that, coming from the aerospace industry, it's kind of it's kind of cool to see that you can still see that if I go to Vegas, it's like 90% of it's from your guys' shop, right?
Pretty much.
And you probably touched every single one of those pieces.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Like the coolest thing I could even say that like I've touched, I put my hands on is like the James Webb Space Telescope, and that's gonna be a million miles away, and nobody's gonna see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still cool, you know, all that, but like.
Where was it? Where is it?
The James Webb. Right now it's in it's either in Texas or in Redondo Beach. I don't know where they have it right now. I haven't checked it out, but it's supposed to be the world's biggest like anything we've ever sent into space. Like it's a satellite. It's gonna be it's an observatory actually.
Oh, nice.
It's basically just a big telescope. We're gonna stick out about 1 million miles away, and it's gonna observe the universe and do some really cool stuff. But that's like the coolest thing I could talk about. You know, it's like, oh man, this is super cool. But you guys did all these like, you know, images in Vegas.
This is the only thing I talk about. It's going into space.
but I see what
you know?
No, I know.
I see what he means though, because it's not something that like
yeah.
people are gonna. I mean,
you won't ever know.
You can see every day that you know people.
If
can,
you don't
like
know,
you
you don't know. Yeah.
You know, your mom goes to Vegas and she's sending you videos of and pictures of the stuff. So I get it. It's a little different when it comes to that. His is still impressive, but it's just
very impressive.
But it's just a little different on that scale of, you know, people not being able to see it, like you said. So looking back, I guess on your journey, was there anything that you picked up along the way, or someone gave you advice that has stuck with you that, you know, you would tell somebody now, or that you do tell people now that you work with?
Yeah. When I started working, I was young, so I had a lot of older people that had like so much experience, you know. So they always tell me, like, or not always tell me, but like when I started out, you know, kind of trying to fit in, kind of thing, you know, like. And I remember one time I was cutting some wood, and then I had a piece of scrap, and I was gonna throw it in. I tried to throw it in the trash can, you know, and I missed.
You're no Kobe, so you missed it.
Yeah. So they told me, they told me in Spanish because I work with a lot of Mexicans, you know. So they told me, siempre huevones trabajan doble. That means like, the lazy
like
people work double. So now I gotta go over there and pick it up. So I took that, and now I use that with because I have people that are under me. So now I'm able to train the people that work for me the way I want them, you know, like.
Yeah. You kind of mold them to the style and the thing that you want to do.
Yeah. So.
Which is, I guess that's true, right? Like if you're lazy and you try to do something, like you end up probably doing things twice because, you know, if you just would have walked over to the trash can and threw it away, probably have been quicker.
Yeah, and I learned that young too, so I applied that to myself, and now I have the people that are working for me, like, looking, when I'm doing something, they're already looking for the next thing that I'm gonna need, you know, like.
Gotcha.
So
it's not just standing there. They're anticipating.
Oh, yeah.
They're anticipating what you're doing and what you're gonna need next, and so they're.
Cause just like you know, like.
Yeah.
And, you know, training and all that.
Yeah. So I guess that's the best thing, right? Like, especially if they're getting to that point where they know, well, obviously work with you and you're training them. I mean, having them anticipate where you're going and what you're doing next, It makes everything just a little easier.
Way easier.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to tell them nothing now, you know. So. And I have my team is fucking, or excuse my language. My team is we're really good, you know. So we're really tight. We already kind of like can see what we're gonna do, what we got to do next, kind of thing, you know. So
it seems like you guys are kind of, like you said, you have a supervisor, but he kind of he lets you run it. So is it, you don't have a lot of oversight in a sense, right? I'm
basically I'm a fitter, so I have to make sure that everything is square. Like after I tack everything together with my tolerances, I have to make sure that everything's square in it. Cause if not, when it has to get painted, you got to do powder coat and all that. So, and it comes back and we do a factory certified test to make sure everything's good, you know? Yeah. So if something's wrong at that point, that's my fault. And
You can't have that.
Yeah, I'm not having that. So
yeah, and it's not gonna be on you if something's messed up.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Now, have you guys had any issues with? Because obviously with powder coat, you're baking things, right? So, have you guys have any issues where you send it out and it's completely fine, then it comes back from powder coat and it's warped?
Not really, but we have things. We've had problems where like they dropped a piece and it like deformed kind of. Yeah, you know, it's because the oven I know gets hot, but I don't think it gets as hot.
Yeah,
because we're say like 2,000 degrees to melt metal. So.
Yeah. So no issues with that, just issues like dropping or
you
know, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what's the future? Do you think you're gonna continue with this company and stay there? I mean, it seems like they've done pretty good by you.
Man, the owner of the company is the best dude you'll ever meet. Like, that's what's keeping me there. I can go anywhere else. Like, I'm certified. I'm certified in welding. I can run the machine center. I could do everything, you know. But what keeps me there is like it's so small. It's like a family.
Yeah.
And the owner knows my wife. He'll send flowers. Like we had a baby 2 years ago, and he's like sends like edible arrangements. You know, like it's like I can go to the refinery. I can make a lot more money, but I'm kind of good where I'm at. But at the same time, I want to do something on my own though. Like I don't want to work for another company.
Okay. So the future may be something you're doing solo.
Yeah. Already putting my plan in motion.
Puts the plan in motion. Okay. But I guess to hit on what you said, you kind of you know, it was kind of brief, but you could make more money at another company. But the fact that the way they treat you and the way they treat your family, like that's also a bonus, right? So everything's not always money, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not always money, you know. You can have all the money in the world. Doesn't mean you're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I when I need time off, they don't ask me why, or like you know, just like I don't know. Yeah.
Like you said, it's like a family.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, like I said, that's something to think about for people that, you know, are constantly looking for that extra dollar or you know whatever it may be.
Yeah,
that you know the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
I can go put an application at the union, welders union. You know, I can get in there. But you know, I'll probably be working like I won't ever be like able to say like, hey, I got to go home. This, you know, like,
have some flexibility in your schedule and stuff if you need it. So do you want to? You hinted on doing your own thing. Is there a particular direction you're gonna go, or do you want to talk about that?
Not particular right now. It's just like kind of side work. I did acquire 2 welders. Got an arc welder and a flux core welder.
Okay.
So and I put 220 in my garage, 220 volts in my garage, and well, I have 3 because what I was doing before.
Yeah. Okay. So you're setting yourself up for a good side of things. What kind of projects are you looking on to take on?
I've done a trailer. I bought a boat trailer with the boat on it for $80.
Okay.
But I had to take the boat to the junkyard, so that cost me like about another $80.
Okay.
I left the boat and I took the trailer. I got home and I cut off all the shit or things for the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a sander at the time, so I put like I actually put more seat channels. So and I put the wood deck. So I was able to haul my sand rail for about $200.
You paid for a trailer for a sand for $200.
Well,
basically,
$80
plus
and then
what you
$80
put into it.
and then I got some wood from work, and
that's crazy. Because trailers aren't that cheap.
Oh no, and I actually sold it, and I made money. Sold it?
Oh, there you go.
And then my neighbor down the street, he needed some ramps put on, so I did that as well. And now his buddies want things, and so.
Okay. So slowly, just kind of like word of mouth type of thing, getting some work done.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't want to like do too much like on my off time because I just want to chill with the family, you know. So.
Well, yeah, you just said you had a daughter 2 years ago, so you definitely want to, family time's important.
Yeah. So. That's like the hard part, you know. Like,
but the work-life balance.
Yeah.
So what's the dream? If you could, whatever it may be.
For me, it would be probably having a shop and like doing like suspension, like hydraulics or lifting trucks kind of thing, you know, like just still in that field where you're like making like one-off parts kind of thing, you know. Reinforcing frames. That would be pretty cool. So,
is that kind of what you're gearing up to do with the working out, doing some side jobs and stuff like that?
I would like to, but I just don't know, like,
what the future holds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but now go ahead.
But yeah, that's something I always wanted to do, so learning all that.
Yeah. Now going back, to the beginning when you made some bad choices and headed the wrong direction. With all that said and getting to where you're at now, do you think possibly if you were to have something where you saw that welding before, would that have sparked anything at that point, or do you think it was at the right place, right time type of?
It's kind of like both. But if I would have saw that earlier, I definitely I would have went that way. Yeah.
Gravitated towards that.
Yeah. Like in school, like I think they had like auto something, but it's hard to do when you're not going to school. Like
there's that.
Yeah. So I wasn't really like offered that opportunity.
Yeah, I believe most high schools is like they have an auto mechanic, but I mean my high school offered it, but it wasn't really like an auto mechanic class. It was kind of, they don't really offer or tell you much about those sort of trades, which is like you said, it's like that's something you're proud of, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, oh, I could, like, that's cool, like I want to do that.
Yeah. I did get offered other things from the school though. They sent us to like YA, like Youth Authority, for like the day, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously for different reasons.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were like a scarce rate kind of thing, you know, because always getting harassed by police and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you made some choices that were questionable.
Yeah.
Now let's say you. Obviously, I mean, you mentioned you have a daughter, but also know, you have a son. But given your situation and where you came from, if you were to see someone in high school kind of doing the same sort of things that you were doing, would there be any advice you would give them, or would you try to show them, maybe your route?
Definitely. I kind of see that my godfather, like he kind of saw me kind of going off, and he taught me how to play the drums, like to try to get you. That's what he knew,
mm-hmm.
So I would definitely love to do that one day. Like if I could, I would love that. Give some time to someone like a mentor kind of thing,
mentorship type of thing to try to.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like it's crazy because I feel like within like that blue collar work, like welding, whatever it may be, I feel like there's a lot of that where it's a lot of teens or kids that definitely were in the situation where they weren't making the best choices. They get introduced to something where they're either building something or some sort of construction or whatever it may be, like that gives them more fulfillment. They're like, I'd rather do this than when I was doing that anyways.
Because it could just be one thing that you do and it's like, oh damn, I made that, like get that self-fulfillment and then want to pursue that, you know? Like,
and then everything else just kind of falls off that you were, you know, the other choices you were making just kind of leave you and you're just like, no, I like this, what this makes, you know.
And even being young too, when I first started working, like it felt good coming home like dirty, you know, like work boots on, like, you know, kind of thing, you know, like it was like
satisfying.
Yeah, very satisfying to me. Yeah.
Come home dirty.
And then getting home and then, you know, like my kid, you know, like the kids and wife, and then she's gonna get dinner ready kind of thing, you know. It's like, you know, it's what more do you want kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, come home, you're, you know, filthy from a hard day's work, you're tired, but it's funny because you're tired but you feel good because you know you put in your time at work and now it's time to spend some time with the family. Yeah, I definitely know exactly that feeling. You're almost exhausted but you're happy you're exhausted. It's kind of a weird weird experience. So that's cool. So I don't know, maybe in the future you could do with your if you're able to do your shop, you know, you could offer some sort of program where you some sort of mentorship or bringing in.
I'm coming for you.
See, there you go. I told you.
Let me know. So I really want to help people, like, you know, in that aspect, you know, because there's a lot of people that could go that way, but can be, you know.
I think there's definitely a time in a young adult's life where seeing another path could be a life-changing thing.
Definitely.
And like we said, like you were in that situation, and like we mentioned about, you know, building something, once you have that fulfillment, it's just like, you know, that could change everything.
Well, yeah, and just like you're saying, it's so little backstory of me is like in high school I didn't really have a direction, and then all of a sudden I was doing an internship, and I found something that I really kind of liked, and I ended up staying there. That's where I work now in aerospace. But if I didn't find that, I don't know, who knows what I would have been doing. I didn't have very bright prospects early on either, and you know, teaming up with like a local high school doing internships, you know, that helps them sometimes too, because maybe school isn't the easiest for them and they'd rather just get their hands on something, kind of start working. And we've talked about this before too, you know, where school maybe isn't the best choice for certain people because they'd rather just start working. And it's like, if you start working in a trade, it's respectable. Like you said, you get that fulfillment from working with your hands and you see the physical product, the final product, and you could say, I did that.
Yeah.
And that could be a very big thing for, you know, certain people with where school just isn't kind of jiving with them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with that because, I mean, I've said that school was not the easiest thing for me, but I loved working with my hands. But where I grew up in Lancaster, there wasn't a lot of opportunity out there for a lot of that stuff. I mean, it was probably there, but like, I mean, I'm finding out down here too, like even high schools, a lot of high schools didn't offer any of that stuff. It was, you know, they basically tell you to go to college, right? And then if you're not even good at school to begin with, or don't like school to begin with, that's not, you know, a lot of people just shine that off and, you know, go down a different path. But if they offer, you know, maybe something like a mentorship or something like that, I definitely think that could be something that would save some people.
That would be awesome. I wish I could find the time for that though. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, obviously that, you know, that's
unless
not
I'm
easy.
getting paid for it.
I mean, I definitely think that probably wouldn't be
kidding.
You know, wouldn't be something that wouldn't happen. But you never know.
That's just the hard part about that. You know, it's, it's just time and all that. You know, you still got to pay your bills and all that. So you can't just stop working to show someone. You know, like.
Yeah. No, I understand that. But if you, like, in a situation where if you were to open that shop or start doing more of your own thing.
Oh, yeah.
In a sense where, you know, you could have.
Yeah, if I had my own establishment, definitely.
Yeah, I get in your situation at your job now, it wouldn't be something that would probably be feasible because you'd be working your, you know, 10 plus hour days at work and then coming home and then trying to mentor somebody, you know, it's definitely not an easy task to do that. Yeah. You know, especially because you're already probably trying to give advice to family and close friends to try to get them, you know, out of situations. So to add on to that doesn't make it easy. Yeah. And I've definitely been in that situation. So, best piece of advice that you ever gotten, besides the don't do work twice. Is there anything else? It could be work, whatever. It doesn't have to be anything in particular.
Invest in some property. It's always in the payoff at the end. So, like, I had an opportunity. I was blessed, you know. I had opportunities where I was able to, like, to do that. But luckily, I had someone, like, smart on my team, you know. So, or else I would have been, like, in a foreign car kind of thing, you know. Like,
yeah. But someone that put some wise choices.
I'm still driving a 2000 Chevy Blazer, so, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah. So it's not always about materialistic things. Yeah. But you also have a motorcycle, right? That's a plus.
Yeah, I got a Harley with the 26.
You know, so you can't shine away from that. So it ain't totally bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think that's another thing, right? Like we mentioned before with the money thing, is that, like, if you're happy, you're happy, right? Like, materialistic things aren't always going to make you happier than non-materialistic things. Sometimes it adds more stress in it than it actually makes you happy.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, you know, when it comes to that, it's also, you know, perspective. You know, it may be, you know, that your truck, but it's paid off, right?
Yes, I don't have no car notes and other things.
So you know, it's all how you look at it. You know, you're able to spend more money on your family and not have to worry about that. You know, you don't need to be fancy. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I'm happy with it. Like, I don't like loathe, you know, like.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
It's not something you're upset with when you get in it every morning or anything. You're good. Yeah. I think the investment thing that you mentioned with investing in property, I think that's also another thing that isn't talked about enough or at all. I don't think in college, or in high school.
Yeah, definitely.
In high school, no one said anything about that.
I'll teach you. Yeah.
But I really think that it should be. Like, I think that's something that people should understand, that it's a very lucrative and establishing thing to have, where if you can invest in something that's going to give you money in return. Yeah.
That's kind of what's, like I said, you know, just blessings on blessings. So I purchased a house in Ohio, me and my wife, and now that's paying for her master's degree, you know, so, and it's gonna keep paying me after she gets her master's degree in like a year, like 2 years. I'm still gonna get a check in the mail. So
yeah, so it's always gonna, at this point, it's always gonna give you money every month. Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, up front, it may not seem like the best purchase because, like you said, it's not a Lamborghini or a foreign car or whatever it may be at that point. But you know, you're gonna reap the benefits from that from now, and I mean, your kids are probably gonna reap the benefits from that. Yeah. Right. Like, it's probably something that's never gonna go away. And I think that's definitely something that needs to be.
Cause master's degrees, that's so much money.
It's not cheap.
And me just working it, I wasn't gonna do it. So, yeah, luckily I got a good team. So,
and that's definitely, I guess, another thing you can talk about is, you know, if you have a good team and, you know, a good person on your side, it help you make the smart choices. Yep. So I guess you got to give her a little bit of credit on on some of that.
Yeah. and exactly like what you're saying is that you know, having the right people in your circle can really influence your choices. And like we were just talking about the property, it's not really. I know I didn't talk about anything close to that in high school, but my 14-year-old brother, he's already talking about, like, oh yeah, I want to do like a first home loan, for first home owner loan. I don't even know what it's called. And he's talking about, he's like, yeah, I want to get like you know, the houses with the front and back house, and I'll live in the back one or the smaller one. I don't care, and then rent it out, and then save money up and start kind of just. But he's already talking about property. I don't even know if he could spell the word property right now. You know what I mean? So
that's good. That's a good little mentality though.
Having the right people on your team and helping steer you and mentor you, you know, it really does make a big difference in how or what opportunities will be presented to you in life and what steps you can take. You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Is there any welding that you want to learn to do? Because I know there's a bunch of different types of welding that you can learn. Is there anything that's on the list?
I've pretty done much everything. Pretty much I've done everything. I just underwater welding would be pretty cool, you know.
It's funny because that's what was in my head, because I've known some people that have done that have moved to San Diego and have done underwater welding, and for some that seems to be like the pinnacle of like a welder. Yeah. I know you like fishing, so
I love fishing. But my homie that I work with right now, he's probably had about 20 years of experience, and he's worked on ships and all that. So I'm picking up on a lot, you know, like really quickly, you know. So even my manager, he's probably like 35 years welding. So like me getting all this shit, like all these like tips and all that, man, it's just like, you know, I feel unstoppable, you know. So,
they're just improving and improving like every day. Like you're picking up the little tips and tricks that they've learned along the way.
Yep.
And I think that's the big thing too, is, you know,
that's like you're saying, that's like a mentor that they mentored me.
Yeah. Because then it's one thing reading it or learning it in a book or whatever it may be, but
man, that's my flaw.
But even being shown how to do it, right? Or they can tell you, okay, weld this, right? Weld that square up. Well, they may have some sort of trick to hold it in place or to start or where to do this, but they don't tell you that. You know, no one really tells you that to begin with, right? Like they just tell you what to do. And then you start learning all these little tricks of people that they've learned because they've experienced, or they've learned from somebody that had 60 years experience or whatever it may be. And all these little like trade secrets almost, you know, kind of get passed down to each person, which I think is super cool.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I've worked on like motorcycles where I've done something and it's like taking me like an hour to do it. And then someone will walk up and be like, oh, why'd you do it like that? Why don't you do it like this? And they'll show it to me and it's like 5 minutes and it's done. It's like, well, I didn't even know you could even do that. So I'm sure the same type of thing happens.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Happens there.
Definitely.
Yeah, experience is arguably up there with education, I would say.
Yeah. And this dude that I'm talking about, he's so smart, man. It's like ridiculous. He came here from Vietnam.
Oh, you're talking about, okay, I know you're talking about.
And he came here and he was sewing clothes for like the first 3 years in his garage. And that he lived in a garage, in one of his family's garage, and he went to school and he got smart, man. So he started making those big old 53-foot trailers.
Okay.
Welding those. So yeah, I'm blessed, man, to know him, and he's like not my dad, kind of, you know, like, but he's like, he sees me as his kid, you know. Like,
yeah.
Cause I've been working there for like 15, 16 years, you know. So.
And he's been there the whole time that you've been there?
No, I was there like 2 or 3 years before him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, future goals, not just work related. I just want future goals that you have for maybe this year.
This year?
Yeah, I would say this year.
Okay. Damn. I do need to lose some weight.
That's definitely, that's a goal. I have one in mind that you mentioned the other day, and that's the reason I brought it up.
What is it? Say it.
You tell me. We're
talking
about fishing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what's that goal?
Yeah, that's why he said besides work.
Yeah.
Nah, but my goal this year, I'm gonna catch my biggest tuna this year.
All right, and what's the biggest tuna you've caught up to date?
Like 75 pounds.
That's a pretty solid fish.
Yeah, I need 100.
So you want to break that 100 pound?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Where I mean, it's kind of cool. We haven't really talked too much about hobbies, but like, I mean, I kind of want to get into the fishing a little bit, just because it's something that I like to do. I haven't gone out, but I've done some offshore fishing. Where I know you've done a lot from San Diego, right?
Yeah.
You go down to like Mexico.
Yeah. Overnights. Sleep on the boat. Wake up and start fishing. You know. So man, I'm fiending to go.
I know, we just talked about it the other day. That's why I brought it up. But I guess that's probably like your reset, right? Like,
man,
it's a nice little vacation from work.
Even just going like right here at the rocks is nice, you know. Like when you came with me one time, drinking some beers, you know, catch a fish, cool, you know. If not, we're just having a good time, you know. So,
it's more like the relaxing part of just being out there hearing the waves.
Exactly.
Throwing your line out.
Yeah.
I mean, you still caught quite a bit of fish that day, but you know,
it's like peaceful, you know. Like I need it. If I don't have that, I'm gonna go crazy, you know. Like
yeah, especially, you know, again, I know you work a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and also working a lot of hours, then coming home to kids.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily stop working.
Yeah.
Right. So having that little break for going fishing is probably that little mental reset you need.
It's good. Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's my thing, man. I love fishing and welding.
It kind of sucks you had to get rid of that boat that you got, right? You got the trailer, but couldn't keep the boat.
It just needed a motor, but I just wanted to make money on. I just needed the trailer.
Yeah.
And I made my money back plus, but I've been looking at boats.
Well, there you go. When's the next trip?
In June.
In June. You same down to Mexico?
Yep. Father's Day.
Ooh, I might have to.
Yeah, you're a father too.
Yeah, see if I can get down there with you.
Yeah, do overnight though. That's when we're gonna catch our biggest tuna. Watch.
All right. I think we'll have to, after we get done with this, we're gonna see if I can get away for that.
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna wrap this one up. Thanks for coming out. See you on the next one.